pecah bukan mau tanggung. Bapak lo gak terima ngadu ke mahkamah agung. Kulit gue merah dijilat tua di mora. Bukannya merek kepalanya bocor.
Pala bocor, lo main kotor. Lo pada Sherlock, gue caps pakai motor. Sabet penuh teknik setara Wing Chun. Malaikat Israel, ucap assalamualaikum. Kagak pakai backingan, gue maju sendiri. Wapak lo kagak mempan, gue bikin lu cepirit. Pilihan gang bukan anak komplek. Umur sebulan udah pensiun nete. Hadiah sunat lo PS2. Hadiah sunat gue basoka. Tadi tur lo pergi ke Jogja. Tadi tur gue ke jalur Gaza. Lo semua masih pada magang. Gua pro cuma jago kandang. Rokokku kretek, daging gue rendang. Di Holy Wings ku nyetel pada dang. Di Lampok ku nyetel lagu Padang.
Perang sarung antar masjid. Seranganku sakit. Sarung gua gulung. Stadion Caloret.
Musuh banyak ebret. Gue emang sakit. Caloret. Musuh banyak ebret. Gue emang sakit.
Perang sarung antar masjid. Seranganku sakit. Sarung gua gulung. Stadion Caloret.
Musuh banyak ebret. Gue emang sakit.
Gua dari masjid Turhuda. Lagi nyari lawan yang setara. Info lokasi Timur Tengah. Yang kalah ceweknya Vian Desa. Sarung gua gajah dulu. Semua musuh gua asal dulu. Gua datu mereka tunduk. Gua yang pegang wilayah. Ambil batu bukan masuk dalam saku. Ambil batu gua masukin ke sarung. Maju lu semua gua siap buat tarung. Pala lu pecah bapak lu meraung. Pala lu pecah bukan mau tanggung. Bapak lu gak terima ngadu ke mahkamah agung. Kulit gua merah dijilat tua di mora. Bukannya merek kepalanya bocor.
Pala bocor, lo main kotor. Lo pada Sherlock, gue caps pakai motor. Sabet penuh teknik setara Wing Chun. Malaikat Israel, ucap assalamualaikum. Kagak pakai backingan, gue maju sendiri. Wapak lo kagak mempan, gue bikin lu cepirit. Pilihan gang bukan anak komplek. Umur sebulan udah pensiun nete. Hadiah sunat lo PS2. Hadiah sunat gue basoka. Tadi tur lo pergi ke Jogja. Tadi tur gue ke jalur Gaza. Lo semua masih pada magang. Gua pro cuma jago kandang. Rokokku kretek, daging gue rendang. Di Holy Wings ku nyetel pada dang. Di Lampok.
Perang sarung antar masjid. Seranganku sakit. Sarung gua gulung. Stadion Caloret.
Halo?
Halo.
Halo. Oke.
All right. We're live. Mute us.
No, that's perfect. Okay.
No, it's not, bro.
Pala lu pecah bapak lu meraung. Pala lu pecah bukan mau tanggung. Bapak lu gak terima ngadu ke mahkamah agung. Kulit gua merah dijilat tua di mora. Bukannya merek kepalanya bocor.
Pala bocor, lo main kotor. Lo pada Sherlock, gue caps pakai motor. Sabet penuh teknik setara Wing Chun. Malaikat Israel, ucap assalamualaikum. Kagak pakai backingan, gue maju sendiri. Wapak lo kagak mempan, gue bikin lu cepirit. Pilihan gang bukan anak komplek. Umur sebulan udah pensiun nete. Hadiah sunat lo PS2. Hadiah sunat gue basoka. Tadi tur lo pergi ke Jogja. Tadi tur gue ke jalur Gaza. Lo semua masih pada magang. Gua pro cuma jago kandang. Rokokku kretek, daging gue rendang. Di Holy Wings ku nyetel pada dang. Di Lampok ku nyetel lagu Padang.
Perang sarung antar masjid. Seranganku sakit. Sarung gua gulung. Stadion Caloret.
Musuh banyak ebret. Gue emang sakit. Caloret.
sarung antar masjid, seranganku sakit, sarung gua gulung, setajam celurit.
Musuh banyak empret, gue emang sakit.
Gua dari masjid terhudar, lagi nyari lawan yang setara. Info lokasi timur tengah, yang kalah ceweknya Vian desa. Sarung gua gajah dulu, semua musuh gua seluruh. Gua datu mereka tunduk, gua yang pegang wilayah. Ambil batu bukan masuk dalam saku, ambil batu gua masukin ke sarung. Maju lu semua gua siap buat tarung. Bala lu pecah bapak lu meraung, bala lu pecah gua gak mau tanggung. Bapak lu gak terima ngadu ke Mahkamah Agung. Kulit gua merah dijilat gua di mall, bukannya merek kepalanya bocor.
Pala bocor, lo main kotor, lo pada Sherlock, gue caps pakai motor. Sabit penuh teknik setara Wing Chun, malaikat Israel, ucap assalamualaikum. Kagak pakai bikingan, gue maju sendiri. Bopak lo kagak mempan, gue bikin lu cepirit. Ini kan gang bukan anak komplek, umur sebulan udah pensiun nete. Hadiah sunat lo PS2, hadiah sunat gue basoka. Tadi tur lo pergi ke Jogja, tadi tur gue ke jalur Gaza. Semua masih pada magang, gua pro gak cuma jago kandang. Rokokku kretek, dagingku rendang, di Holy Wings ku nyetel pada dang. Di Lampok ku nyetel lagu Padang.
Perang sarung antar masjid, seranganku sakit, sarung gua gulung, setajam celurit.
After the fall of the last bastion of Europe, after the entire Latin America continent got completely erased from the surface, hundreds of hopes and dreams were shattered. Six-digit World Cup got left with only 3 contestants to the crown: Philippines, Indonesia, and the United States. The villains of the story got themselves an upper hand in the bracket, while the other 2 will have to fight for their name. Welcome to 6-digit World Cup 2025 Grand Finals Losers Bracket. Last time, United States, through blood, sweat, and tears, beat Indonesia because of the miracle that Kalanjak pulled off on tiebreaker. Will destiny be on their side one more time, or will Indonesia take the eager revenge and ascend to the top, challenging the kings of Asia? The legendary rematch of the semi-finals battle, United States Seed 3 versus Indonesia Seed 2. In the studio for today's deathmatch, you have me, Philoxon, your 6CC and 6WC admin. And joining me today is the lovely Maiji, one of our broadcasting head figures. The person who stands behind almost all of the interviews that you've seen throughout the tournament. Maiji, I only have one question for you. Are you ready?
Thank you for Philoxen for that amazing introduction. And to answer your question, I am indeed ready for this amazing action-packed match we have to come for you guys. Our first grand finals match of the 6-digit World Cup 2025. Man, it feels like just yesterday, right, that the round of 32 started. And after 5 weeks with action-packed matches, we have made it to the final big 3. And as you mentioned, Philoxen, you know, it's the rematch of the 2 titans from the semifinals, hailing from North America, the country that has won so many World Cups and so many international tournaments across all rank ranges, the United States of America. And their opponents, they knocked down to the losers bracket all the way across the globe, is Indonesia, a team who had to go through many challenges in the finals, taking out Canada and the seed for Russia. But with our introductions coming to a close, let's talk a bit about these rosters, Philoxen. We have it on the screen. We have the big dog who solidified the United States a victory in the semifinals on the tiebreaker. As you mentioned, the Callan Jack against Zarilia rematch is about to come. But let's go in depth, Philoxen. Talk to me a little bit about these guys.
Well said, Maiji. Of course, first of all, we will start off with Kalanjak, the dark horse, the hope of United States, starting off playing those tournaments not so long ago and already still in the spotlight. But we cannot not talk about the other players. I think the most known one is the lead, is our Core 6-2 winner. He stopped playing the game for a bit, but now he came back and he already showed us some dominant performance in our festival events. And now he is always getting at least second highest match cost in his own matches. Supported by Sparkle, also known as Light. You have your 6WC4 minor league winner, super strong reading player, super strong easy player. Then you have those specialists, Cuckoo and LTK Kiwi. Those are your hard rock players. Creep Crafton, on the other hand, is gonna be your very smart captain who always knows what they're doing because of the experience, of course. And as well, they are a super strong gimmick player. For example, I've seen Freema 2 in the last finals pool in their match against Team Russia. But yeah, of course, even the players that we still haven't mentioned, like Redacted and Misdro, they are still pretty much well known for the community, which is definitely looking very intimidating. While on the other hand, you have Indonesia. And for Indonesia, it is a bit different story. Because the elephant in the room is gonna be Zerelia, the strongest player in the tournament by a long shot, getting top 1 individual performances throughout all the round stats. Then you have Varial. Obviously, the second by power in Team Indonesia roster. Zerelia and Varial are your very dynamic duo that can go for every single map. They are the perma lobby duo and arguably the strongest duo in the entire tournament. And then you have the old blood, which is Emergating and Syntact Error. Those guys have been playing tournaments for more than 2 years. In fact, Syntact Error being not only a brilliant captain, but a winner of 6WC1. They are supported by Izaris and MK45, who are your hard rock specialists. And Izaris not only that, but being your tapping player. And then, to top it all off, you of course have your easy player, your gimmick specialist, which is Okariemu. He FC'd Freema 3 with easy in the finals, which is definitely something that a new Gen 6 Digit tournament is not supposed to do. So we got some newborn talents here and there, some old blood players, some D-rankers that are known throughout the eras. And with that, my G, I think we can finally go and see what those Titans decide to go with.
Yup, well said. And another Titan to mention, hailing from the USA, it's the big dog Delete. You'll see them on a lot of those hard rock maps. A lot of maps in general, as this high skill cap pool will be testing players' difficulty in skill cap on a lot of maps. But with introductions out of the way, let's get into the picks and the bans. Let's see what these teams have decided to protect, pick, ban.
And that is perfect. We already have all these schemes, all the strategies just shown at us. It looks like there was a hidden 2 protect from Indonesia. They have always been protecting hidden 2 in their previous matches, in semifinals and finals for sure. Then you have DT2 protect from the United States. They are generally your hard rock / tapping team. So it makes perfect sense. And now, looking at bans, United States deciding to get rid of Nomad 6, your very much polyrhythm map with those rhythm changes. And as the last one, Indonesia getting rid of Hard Rock 3.
Yep, the Indonesians are going to first pick the DT4, going to try and dive into as much gimmick as they can, going against the United States, as their rosters have proven much stronger than the USA on these gimmick maps. And the DT4 is the map that's going to kickstart this grand finals match, and the United States going to play as much speed and DT, hard rock, and all of the above as they can, as those mechanics is what is going to help them dominate against the Indonesians in today's match. But let's get into this DT4, Pholox, and tell me a little bit about this one.
Ooh, first of all, it is a certified Hood Classic 303. I'm not your boyfriend, baby. It is an old map, DT4. The mapper for this map is the same that we had in finals for another DT4 map. So the style of those two is pretty similar. And oh boy, Indonesia loves that type of a skill set. What you have in the map itself are gonna be those geometrical old map constant jump sections with overlaps here and there. Also some tapping, but much less than in the previous finals DT4 map. Therefore, I think we can just see what rosters we will get because from what I'm expecting, it's gonna be Varial and Zerilia for that consistency. And then I'm pretty much expecting Immorgating, your gimmick specialist, to step in, and of course Akariemu, the guy who already played DT4 in the past.
Well said. And as for the United States of America, for their roster, I believe we should be seeing the captain in the flesh, Sparkle, aka Light, as well as Creep Crafting. We've seen Creep Crafting. She has done so many favors on a lot of gimmick maps for the United States. We've seen them on the No Mod 6 last round. We've seen them getting that free mod 2 FC on the hidden. And for the other players, you know, you have these players like Delete or Kalenjak or even Kiwi who have that combo ability, but the good luck have funds are in the chat. And we're going to kickstart the grand finals of the 6-digit World Cup 2025 with this DT4. I am not your boyfriend, baby. Mapped by E. This is going to be a short one, going to be just around the 2-minute mark. So any of those early breaks are going to matter. Accuracy going to play a big factor with that DT multiplier. And as you guessed, Philoxen, it's going to be Immorgating, Varial, Riemu, and Zerilia for the Indonesians. And for the United States, we see Light, we see Creep Crafting, and then we see Delete and Kalenjak on this DT4. Philoxen, kickstart us on this first map of the match.
Ladies and gentlemen, one thing that I know for sure, you will need a lot of consistency on the map because it's one of those maps, my G, where those jumps are pretty much the same difficulty throughout the entire map. There is no diff spike, I would even say. So those patterns that you will be seeing in the beginning are gonna be pretty much repetitive throughout the entire map. And with that, we will kickstart this map off, and this is gonna be such a detrimental first pick for Indonesia.
Yep, and we start off with a banger and early accuracy lead going over to the Americans, but Kalenjak and Varial, Riemu, and Creep Crafting all finding misses, finding those trades. 2 FCs left on the board for each team. Sparkle, Delete, Immorgating, and Zerilia the ones to hold. Riemu finding another break, trading with Kalenjak, and the score lead is on the side of the Indonesians, but the accuracies from the United States are much higher. Varial going down, and Kalenjak going down as well. Sparkle and Delete trying to hold out for the Americans with the crazy accuracy coming out from Light, 99.7 almost. Kalenjak finding a break once again, but Immorgating's FC is gone, and it's only the Bastion of Indonesia to hold out the FC.
Really, once again, one against the world. Sparkle and Delete being your most experienced veteran duo, holding as strong as they ever could. It is a 1 versus 2, and we are getting in the second PI. So far, all of those 3 FCs are holding those combos so dearly. Everyone else is pretty much missing. Kalenjak managed to find a build-up, unlike Creep Crafting. And with that, they have 2 FCs and 1 support. And we are approaching the last third of the map, but Sparkle is going to find a miss.
Sparkle losing their FC, but with 1 FC down, there is still 1 remaining. Delete, the newer blood of the 6WC USA roster. They've played tournaments, but we haven't seen them in 6WC last year, but they are here this year. Zerilia losing their FC, and Delete losing their FC as well. Light the only one with combo in the lobby. Everybody dropping. Kalenjak recovering, and with 200k in the favor of the Americans, they are going to take this DT4 on the breakpoint against Indonesia to start off our match in the grand finals. I don't think Indonesia was expecting this kind of performance coming out from Sparkle and Delete, both of them getting 750k.
This is not something I expected, because honestly, my G, regarding both teams' skill sets, is Indonesia being able to play those gimmick and hidden maps really well, while the United States being able to play hard rock and tapping. They have very different main skill sets, and with that I was thinking that in the beginning teams would trade points constantly, and that we would only see really crazy upsets in the end game. But never mind, because this is gonna be a breakpoint of United States. Zerillia, even though he top scored the lobby, this is Grand Finals, and this is the stage where it is proved that single carry is not enough. Zerillia might be the MREC of Indonesia, but it's not gonna be enough for them.
Yep, and this is what I had in fear for Indonesia this round. You know, this grand finals pool going to be your highest SR pool in 6WC 2025, without a doubt being much harder than the finals pool, and a lot of these newer gen tournament players who don't have as much skill cap as the United States' core roster, you know, you're not going to be able to 1v4 against the United States. Big scores coming out from Light and Delete on the 700k, and, you know, Zerillia, the big dog, getting 850k, but unfortunately not getting enough support from their teammates, and with one map down, the United States get the first point on the board on the breakpoint, and they're going to be able to try and convert that breakpoint with their next pick. And going into the next pick, you know, they're gonna want to pick something that Indonesia would want to ban out later on in these two next ban phases that we have going for you guys. And I think something like a Hard Rock 2 or a Hard Rock 1 would be a great way to kickstart that. But the United States are going to follow up with Everything Will Freeze, mapped by Banter. Oh man, Phaloxin, pretty sure you found this one. You talked to me about
I did
it.
indeed. Well, first of all, explaining the pick from United States is the thing that Indonesia, probably the weakest skill set they have, is exactly that tapping. Indonesia lost No Mod 5 and No Mod 2 to Canada in losers brackets because they did not ban it and they found out. And Indonesia looks like they have done their research right. And therefore, you're seeing No Mod 5 getting picked before we get in the second ban phase. It is Everything Will Freeze. You are seeing that right. If you're not familiar with our pool, how this happened was that we're looking for those No Mod 5 maps, and pretty much all of them were hella overused. So we spent a solid like 4 hours looking into those graveyarded maps, and this is the masterpiece that we have found. Mapped by Bunter, it is the highest SR map of the pool besides the tiebreaker. 6.6 SR, very standard CS, CS4, and of course the BPM is gonna be one of those main difficulties, and of course the constant triples and bursts. You have those in pretty much every single pattern of the map. You can get almost 2000 combo on it, even though it is only 3 minutes long. And Maiji, what do we think of the lineups?
You know, in last week's No Mod 5, it was the two big beasts from each other's teams, Jack and Zerillia, to get an FC on last week's No Mod 5, and everybody getting around 500 to 400k. The United States winning last week's No Mod 5 in stats by about 70k. So we should be seeing the same rosters on this No Mod 5, seeing somebody like Sparkle, aka Light, seeing Jack, Delete, and, you know, somebody like Creep Crafting or Mistdraw as well. We didn't see much of Mistdraw in a lot of these later rounds, but on this high skill cap tapping, I could definitely see them pulling through during this match. And as for Indonesia, I think very obviously we're going to be seeing that trio of Emar Gating, Zerillia, and Viril, and I believe the last one would probably be someone like Izaris, one of the newer tapping players for Indonesia. But with Good Luck Have Funds coming out ready up from the ref, let's switch over to the match screen, and here are the rosters, and I have been absolutely wrong about Indonesia's roster. We see WASD, OK Riemu, and Izaris, and Zerillia in for this high skill cap No Mod 5. And for the United States, we see Mistdraw making their grand finals debut. Jack, Cuckoo, and Delete are going to be the four for the Americans. And let's start off with Everything Will Freeze, mapped by Banter.
Yep, make some noise for the classical map, as we are starting very roughly with a lot of those bursts are already tripping up players. Izaris finding a break, and the map is not gonna be easier by any means as we get to the last KIs, and the first one as well, we're not even there. But so far, already a couple of breaks here and there. Mistdraw and Cuckoo losing their full combos, and Izaris is out.
It's not looking good for the USA, but we're still just in the beginning. We haven't gotten to the nitty-gritty of the map yet. 3 breaks coming out from the United States. Cuckoo, Kalinjak, and Mistdraw. Mistdraw not finding their footing on this Nomad 5. WASD not finding their footing either. Izaris losing their FC. And it is still Zerilia and OK Ryamu to hold these FCs as we go into the first PI of the map. Zerilia goes down, the Titan is gone, and it is Delete against OK Ryamu and Izaris on that recovery. 45k score lead in the favor of Indonesia going into the third section of the map, and Izaris loses their FC, and it's 1 FC to 1.
Kariemu, that accuracy is not favoring their side. Delete is coming for them, and Kariemu on that burst fighting a crucial break. With that, the score is gonna start slowly shifting to United States, as Delete is your probably strongest United States tapping player. He is proving that, but look at the supports. Kalinjak and Mistdraw with 500 and 400 combos. Mistdraw might fall, but the lead is just increasing. It's only Zerilia on board for Indonesia, the last hope of Indonesia. As per usual, as Varial is not gonna be with us in the lobby. Speed cap is definitely something he cannot control. And with that, let's enter the second PI.
Zerilia's accuracy doing many favors for Indonesia, but their combo is the only thing bringing them back. Mistdraw finding a break, but it's 80k scorer lead for the favor of the Americans off of the back of Delete's FC, and Kalinjak's insane reverse choke going past the halfway mark of the map in a bit of a slower section as we're going to start building up into those faster tapping longer streams. WASD finding another break going into the final third. Mistdraw trading that out, but 100k score lead and climbing for the Americans.
We are entering the guitar solo. Any breaks from the players? So far, just Mistdraw, who has already found a break. Izaris is out. Same for Kariemu, just Zerilia now holding. But the lead is gonna be definitely the miss of the day, with Kalinjak supporting him. It's just Cuckoo versus Zerilia, and Zerilia is winning right now. The last PI is gonna end it all. And with that, let's get straight into it.
Does Zerilia have what it takes to bring it back for Indonesia? But they fall! The god has fallen, and Cuckoo, the only one to hold combo. Cuckoo finds a drop, but in the final section of the map, the score has been decided. The United States of America are going to convert the breakpoint and take the score lead 2-0 by 150k on Everything Will Freeze off of the back of Kalinjak and Delete's massive scores.
Zerilia might have the best accuracy in the lobby by a big margin, but look at the team play of United States. Delete and Kalinjak, once again, the dynamic duo that you will see, you will hear their names for many other maps. They are not giving Zerilia any room to breathe. And with that, they are capitalizing. The match score, it is 2-0 with a break point from Indonesia lost, and the United States winning their first pick.
Man, oh man, not a good start from Indonesia here. Good start for the United States. I'm sure that mental must be insanely well for the Americans right now. But with 2 maps being gone, we go into a third, and Indonesia going to opt for the free mod 2, their final pick before we go into the second ban phase of this match. And Pholoxin, you know, this is a really special free mod 2. We have it composed by Dami and mapped by Pukpao, but tell me more in detail about this map.
Oh yes sir, this is a collaboration with Yobimo track. It is a custom by Dami, and the person, Dami, is the guy who mapped many iconic 6-digit tourney maps of the era. The biggest ones being CVT5 Grand Finals Tiebreaker, which is Exit This Earth's Atmosphere. And of course, Newcomers World Cup 2025 Grand Finals Tiebreaker, which is We Magician still alive in 2021. Now trying himself in anti-mode mapping, and oh boy, did he cook with this map. Because this is, of course, gonna be your some slider aim here and there. It is your aim control, and the map is also given those, you know, I would say alt control patterns, which is definitely in a combination gives you one of the hardest maps in the pool. Regarding the lineups though, I would definitely expect from Indonesia You know who? I would say Okariamu to play, because this is the guy who FC'd Fremont 3 with Easy last time, and I think it's probably just me, but I would really want to see this map getting played with Easy, but this is the question for the lineup. But my G, what do you think? Who will we see?
You know, as for Indonesia, I think there's one person who's without a doubt going to be in there, and that's going to be Zerilia. You're going to see them in every single map that's going to be played, and we're going to be seeing most likely players like Virreal on the hidden or Emar gating, and we could potentially see Syntac error as well, either Emar or Syntac, not sure. But as for the United States, I think she's going to be the hidden player, Creep crafting, getting that Fremont 2 FC last round, and she's going to make her debut in this Fremont 2. As for the other players, you know, you have people like Delete on the Hard Rock, you have Light who can go on the hidden, and Callan Jack as well, probably going on the Hard Rock or the Nomad consistency. But for the rosters, we don't see Riamu, we see Syntact Error instead making their grand finals debut. And with good luck, have funs in the chat, welcome to Dis Not. Or these nuts. These
I mean,
nuts.
this is how you're supposed to say the name, so there's nothing we can do. But indeed, guys, it's not gonna be Okariamu, but instead we are seeing the classical hidden gimmick lineup of Team Indonesia with Syntact Error. And with that, Yobimo, thank you so much for the collaboration. Indonesia, this is your perfect opportunity to not lose another breakpoint, because skill set wise, this is the best option they could have picked in my paper, because this is your low AR control map, which is definitely gonna be favored for Team Indonesia. But now we are seeing the mod combinations, Emergating with Nomad, Zerilia, and Syntact Error with Hard Rock, and Varial with Hidden. The map is starting rapidly with the first intersection.
And the first one to draw blood on the Fremont 2 is going to be the American captain, Sparkle. And following up on that miss is the other hidden player, Creep crafting. Callan Jack going down on the Nomad trading with Virreal. And Delete on the Hard Rock is the only one keeping this United States story alive on the Fremont 2, as the Indonesians still have 3 big FCs coming out from Syntact Error on the hidden Hard Rock, and Emar and Syntact go down, Virreal down as well. And the only people left are the Hard Rock gamers, Zerilia against Delete. And the recovery combos from the United States are favoring them massively, as well as the accuracy lead compared to Syntact and Emar against Light and Creep crafting is doing United States so many favors right now, as we are in this low section almost halfway through, and we're going to be going into a lot more of those reading and those slider patterns.
The story repeats itself, Zerilia once again being the last bastion, but Delete and Sparkle have something to counter him with Callan Jack and Creep crafting as well. They all have better combos than Indonesia, and accuracy wise and combo wise, this is gonna favor them a bunch. So one last push before the second KI, Zerilia needs to hold, his supports need to hold, and only in that case they will be able to not lose another breakpoint. But with that, a slow build up to the final boss battle of the map is blessing our ears.
And Zerilia is gone, and there are no more FCs from the side of Indonesia. And once again, we see the United States showing just how dominant they are. Delete holding an FC still on this Fremont 2, the only one running through the Raging Storm. As they find a break, they get caught in the crossfire on the Hard Rock. But I think looking at that score difference, without a doubt, by a landslide, the United States have won it by almost 500k on the breakpoint.
This is a major turning momentum right here, guys. 3-0 to the side of United States. Last time in semifinals, they were losing at that exact moment of the match, but now there is a potential that they even might sweep Indonesia, as Indonesia just lost one of their strongest picks in the match. Indonesia might not be in a well mental state right now, but United States, they just don't care, as now they're gonna determine the last map before the second ban phase.
Yep, the United States have that final opportunity to get a pick in, and this next pick going to be pretty important, because if you can convert this breakpoint, you're already up 4-0. But as for the United States' pick, what do you think we're going to be seeing, Phaloxen? I personally think we might see something like a DT3, as Indonesia could potentially ban that out, or potentially something like a Nomad 2.
You know, since Indonesia got rid of Hard 3, I feel like next ban phase they will also not want to see another Hard Rock being open. So if I were to pick here, it will be either Hard Rock 1 or Hard Rock 2. But just because of the nature of Hard Rock 2, it being really short and pretty much generic, I would go with Hard Rock 1, as this is your light tech hard rock map, which, for example, I would say Varial is not very stable on. Varial's skill set, he can cover pretty much everything, but not that hard rock tech skill set. For Zerilia as well, hard rock being not one of his favorite skill sets, even though he is more capable of FCing some of those hard rock maps.
Yeah, you said it perfectly, and I mean, we still got 2 ban phases to go, so either of these maps getting picked would be beneficial for the United States, getting either some of those tapping maps going, as they did win the Nomad 5, you know, getting some of those hard rocks going. I think avoiding the hidden pool is going to be the best course of action for the United States here, but DT3 is the map to be picked. Oh man, this is going to be a difficult DT3. I mean, Phaloxen, tell me about it.
Hey, any of those people who played Empathy 2, you should know what this map is, because this is, of course, your Gorshit, one of the most popular songs that he has produced. It is Henrietta, generational map. The map that made many of the strongest finger control players of previous eras of 6-digit question their skills. The masterpiece, of course made by Gorshit and mapped by Fergus, features dense burst variety between each other. There is also a rhythmic part that, combined with all the versatility, bursts, doubles, triples, and those quads, it's what makes it truly one of the hardest finger control maps for this SR, I would say. And you know, it's only 198 BPM, but it doesn't really matter, because to top it all off, it is also with AR10. The obscurity of this map gets like just to the limit. It will help your players to push your limits on this map, and this is exactly one of your skill cap maps for grand finals that United States, I believe people like Delete and Kalanjak will be able to abuse.
I think we might be seeing the captain as well. Like, we didn't see him on the Nomad 5, but I think they could be someone to consider on the finger control, as they are really strong on that skill set. But with the map going to begin soon, let's switch over to the match screen. And you know, this, like you said, this DT3 going to be a killer of finger control, going to have a lot of finger control all throughout the map. And you know, the Fergus mapping is going to be unrelenting when it comes to that DT finger control, and it is going to be AR10 as well. It's not going to be 9.7 like a lot of people are comfortable on, but I think, you know, with the capability of these two teams, I don't think AR10 should be a problem whatsoever.
Honestly, Maiji, I would say, because of Indonesia not very liking those hard rock maps, AR10 is something that DT3 shares in common with those. So for some of the players, not for the carries, but I believe for 1 or 2 players that are gonna fill in for the map, it's definitely gonna be a huge issue. But instead of Varial, who was expected to play, it's gonna be Zerilia emergating Izaris, your tap-in specialist, and same goes for Wast. Cuckoo, Creepcraft, and Sparkle and Kalanjak are gonna be countering them, surprisingly without delete. We will see how this goes, but with that, dear guests, let's get started with the only and the last Gorshit map of 6WC5. It is gonna be Henrietta.
And the final map before we go into another ban phase. And, you know, one thing that I'm scared of here is going to be the accuracy from the United States compared to Indonesia. And WA's Dean Kalanjak finding off breaks before we go into the first initial break of the map. It's still early days though. 2.5 minutes is the drain time for this map. Early on, there's not much of a score lead, and with Emarcating finding a break, the score lead is going to start shifting over to USA. But with the accuracy from Zerilia, battling Sparkle is the only thing keeping Indonesia in the game right now. Izaris holding out in FC as well, but there's still 3 big combos from the United States.
Those accuracies are not supposed to be accessible for those 6-digit players. Creep crafting goes down, but your highest accuracies of the lobby, Sparkle and Zerilia, are still holding on, matching each other. Cuckoo is supporting Sparkle right here. Kalanjak not anymore, but right now it is Waz and Zerilia against Cuckoo and Sparkle. The 2v2 that is super detrimental, because this is the last map before the second ban phase. Bancho is not giving us the best time right here as we're getting to the more deep, more intense KI.
I would just like to mention that Kalanjak's mouse buttons are on. What the hell?
Oh,
I think they just missed a couple patterns because of mouse buttons, unless they're a mouse player, but I've noticed that and I thought I'd point it out. But as for the score lead, it's 38k for the side of the USA. And with these 2 FCs coming out from the Chameleon, the combo gamer Cuckoo, against Zerilia off of the back of Lights FC as well, supporting them. And the score lead just keeps rising. It's climbing for the Americans. Izaris and WASD not finding their footing, as well as Emarcating. And the only one to hold is Zerilia. And 3 misses coming out from players from Indonesia. Kalanjak goes down once again. But look at the combo recovery from the United States. Creep crafting, solidifying herself a good recovery. And Sparkle and Cuckoo still holding these FCs against the Titan.
Cuckoo and Sparkle, your core tapping players of Team United States. Once again, Zerilia getting double countered. It is the 4th map in the row. This is not supposed to be happening. This map is definitely the hardest finger control map in the pool, and yet we're seeing 3 FCs. Sparkle and Zerilia trade each other out, but it doesn't matter. The team power of United States, it is unmatched, as Cuckoo and Sparkle are both having above 700 combo scores.
Oh my goodness. And we see 2 FCs from the United States. Actually, that's not true. Light found a break just at the end, and Zerilia finding a slider break somewhere. Cuckoo holding out the combo game for the United States. And with 4 maps being down, we're going into our second ban phase. Oh my goodness, Pholoxen. This isn't looking good for the Indonesians right now.
I'm sorry, even without the lead, you are gapping Indonesia by that much of a score difference because of Sparkle and Cuckoo. This is the map that literally made a lot of previous 6-digit players just crash out and stop playing finger control. And now it looks like it is accessible for those beasts. What is happening? But regardless, my G, let's see what those cracked players decide to ban next, because it's gonna be your second ban phase, as you mentioned, and the first one is gonna come from Indonesia.
Yep, Indonesia going to be the ones to opt out going into the second ban phase, trying to get one of those maps gone. And I think going into the second ban phase, it's the time for Indonesia to start thinking of what they want to go on here, you know, find the best course of action of the maps they want to pick going on with this match. As you know, we have a very long match ahead. You know, it's a best of 13, so the match is not over yet. The comeback is still possible. You have a lot of these control picks, a lot of these hidden picks still left in the pool for Indonesia, and those DT tapping maps are starting to come to an end for the United States. You still got the Nomad 2, which I think would be a really good ban for Indonesia, or something like a Hard Rock, as you mentioned earlier. But, you know, you could save it for the third ban phase that we actually do have, but we are just waiting for Indonesia to ban. And for the United States' ban, I think getting rid of something like a hidden 3 or a hidden 1 would be beneficial for them, as that is a little bit where Indonesia has a bit more players to slap in there. But as you mentioned, Indonesia going to ban out that Hard Rock 1.
The beggars are not gonna be played in this loser bracket grand finals. There is still a chance for the upper bracket ones to happen, but here Light Tech is getting banned by Indonesia, which is a great choice. Indonesia, despite being a really strong control team and ult team, when it comes to hard rock tech, it is not their strongest suit. Therefore, no more beggars, and United States now are also gonna send us their own ban. I would expect them to ban something. That's a good question. Something like Hidden 1 or just Hidden 3, I would say, as Hidden is just a comfort zone for Indonesia, especially considering they did protect Hidden too. So even though the other Hiddens are not AR8, it is still probably a good idea to just nuke one of those.
Yeah, like I mentioned, I mean, Indonesia, they still have a little bit of this hidden pool, and I think the United States narrowing down how much hidden they have would be a perfect course of action for them to keep going through this grand finals match. And as for the next pick, Indonesia going to be the ones to pick next here. Creep crafting rolling 2 for no reason. But, Indonesia coming out of this ban phase are going to be the ones to pick. What do you think they're going to go for here, Philoxen?
Hey, I think there is a reason for that roll. In my opinion, they're rolling between banning Hidden 1 or Hidden 3. But yeah, we don't know. I would say just choosing from those two maps, Hidden 3 might be a better ban, but never mind. It is going to be another alt map. Hidden 3 and Nomad 3 are pretty much similar because Hidden 3 is swing, you still have some of those slidery patterns with some alt here and there, but Nomad 3, when it comes to Nomad 3, there is much more representation of those devious circular alt patterns, just your snap alt here and there, your BPM changes, and of course CS 4.8 gonna be the map that Indonesia would have tried to abuse endgame. I would not say they would try to do it now, but at the end, I'm pretty sure they would. But without further ado, Indonesia is insta-picking Hidden 1.
Field of hopes and dreams, and that is what Indonesia here needs. They need the hopes and dreams from their fans. So anybody watching, you got to start cheering for Indonesia because there are too many American fans in the chat, and maybe that's why it's 4-0 for the US. They have so much support from the chatters. But with the Hidden 1 being picked from Indonesia, and also talking about the Nomad 3 ban, I think that might have been something we could have overlooked a little bit. I think it's a really good ban coming from the United States, as going against somebody like Zerilia on the Nomad 3, that Nomad 3 is really difficult, and maybe the United States not feeling as comfortable of getting a strong score all around and going against Zerilia, who can potentially FC and carry. I think Nomad 3 is a really good ban, but that does give Indonesia a bit of leeway to get rid of these hidden maps, try and put their points on the board before going into another ban phase. But talk to me, Philoxen, we got a custom Hidden 1. Yap to me about it.
Hey, I mean, it's your custom by Lighting. Lighting is a big name in the tourney media, not only being a world-class organizer and a commentator, but also being famous for making a lot of custom tournament maps for higher rank range tourneys. But not so long ago, the 6-digit scene saw 6 EC semifinals custom Hidden 1, which was Honeypie, and players absolutely loved it. I'm pretty sure this one is gonna deserve even more recognition by the community, because this is your Hidden 1 custom Grand Finals map, Field of Hopes and Dreams, and this is exactly what is happening to Indonesia. This map being their one of the last hopes and dreams because they need that point. This map features a lot of those snap alt patterns, and even in the verses you have a lot of them, especially in the second verse. Not only those snap alt patterns, but the sliders are also gonna be haunting you in your nightmares, as in the second verse they are gonna be getting super big. I'm not even talking about the KIs because, well, you guys just need to see. This map is without a doubt one of the hardest maps in the pool, and of course Lighten did a great work for that.
Yep, as you mentioned, this hidden one not going to be the same kind of generic awkward aim hidden one we had in the finals pool. It is going to be your snap aim hidden one. And with good luck, have funs are in the chat, we're going to be getting off Field of Hopes and Dreams. Will Indonesia be able to try and kickstart their grand finals with a point on their own pick on this hidden map? And the team to try and get the point on the board is going to be Emargating, Viril, Izaris, and Zerilia. And as for the United States, to try and keep this sweep going, is going to be Delete, Creep Crafting, Kalinjak, and Sparkle, the 4 core of the United States.
They really need that point, at least one, and with that they will be able to start off a comeback. I think, Maiji, that scheduled debuff is kind of not favoring them because they're playing at 1 a.m., which is definitely very much annoying. But now we are starting with the map, and looks like already some breaks here and there. Even though this part of the map is pretty enjoyable to play, it will only get harder from here. And with this tendency, it looks like Indonesia right now is pretty much favored on the map.
Yep, the hidden one going to be what the Indonesians are going to try and bring this match back. Emargating, Viril, and Zerilia all holding Izaris, not finding their footing. But when you have 3 FCs coming out from your teammates is going to be the only thing that matters for you going into the first quarter of the map. Kalinjak and Light going down. The only FC that is left is the Beast from the American side of the world, Delete, and Creep Crafting to recover. She's going to be recovering very strong. But, 3 FCs still on the board for Indonesia. We're almost down half of the map already. Going into the slow section, the United States need a break from Indonesia to try and bring this back because it's 160k. And on the hidden mod, with the accuracy lead from Indonesia, that's going to be a hard wall to climb. And Light and Creep Crafting goes down once again, and Delete going down. And I think for the first time in this match, Indonesia have what it takes to get a point.
Just look how the tables have turned. On that first KI, Delete now got put in a reverse. Zerilia and Emargating, recently supported by Varial, are showing why they are the strongest hidden players of the tournament. The second verse, though, is super crucial for both of the teams. Zerilia and Varial are gonna be finding more of those breaks, but Emargating, through blood, sweat, and tears, is still holding on. It is already 500k score difference. This is the performance we have been expecting from Indonesia ever since the beginning of this match, and now looks like they have finally found their solid ground on the map.
It's not the Titan, it's not Zerilia, it's the veteran of Indonesia playing many 6WCs to carry out this hidden one, taking it by a landslide of 600k. Emargating, finding an FC on Field of Hopes and Dreams, and let me tell you, the hopes and dreams were in the favor of Indonesia. And the score is now 4-1. Indonesia putting a point on the board. Now time for United States to pick.
Oh, this will give Indonesia a lot of hopes and dreams. But also, assigned to United States, that is not gonna be that easy for them to secure the victory. On the other hand, though, United States, they have their protect. I think Indonesia right now, they got a bit of hope in themselves, and it is an interest of the United States to just completely shatter those hopes. And to do such, I would pick DT2, as this is your high BPM speed cap map, but never mind. Looks like Hard Rock 2 is gonna be a more reasonable pick, as the other Hard Rock maps got banned by Indonesia, clearly showing United States that they are not comfortable on this skill set.
Yeah, this is exactly what I expected to see coming from the United States. There's still another ban phase left, and getting rid of the Hard Rock, trying to get a point on the board very fast is going to be important, because in the next ban phase, Indonesia, they can't get rid of Hard Rock because there's not going to have any left. So I think getting rid of something like Nomad 2, if the United States don't pick it, will be beneficial for them. But as for the rosters, as we go into Tears of Tragedy, Spring Memory, is going to be, at least for the United States, Delete, Kalinjak, Sparkle, and maybe Creep Crafting, or we might see Cuckoo as well, or even Kiwi. We've seen them make an appearance on the Hard Rock themselves. And as for Indonesia, we're going to be seeing Zerilia, obviously. We might even see Syntax Error, as they did play this yesterday, I believe, in the Captain's Battle Royale, which they did get second in their lobby, unfortunately losing to Colden Ellis. But I think the other players for Indonesia, we might see somebody like Izaris, we might see somebody like Imar Gating, who has proven to have a lot of high AR capabilities, but I don't think we will be seeing Varial in this one.
Yeah, I totally agree. Though I think United States, when it comes to Hard Rock, their rosters are so versatile. We might even see Redacted, because this guy played Finals Hard Rock 2 last time. Same goes for Kiwi, as you have mentioned. So yeah, this is gonna be definitely a guess for us, but we can talk a bit about the map. First of all, yes guys, this is Tears of Tragedy Spring Memory cut version, for a reason, because this map is less than 2 minutes, so might be pretty doable for both of the teams to hold on to those combos. The map starts off with a really challenging intersection, then there will be just a chill build up to the first KI, and then the rest of the map is the last KI and the first KI that will be lasting for 1 minute. And this is where we will be seeing most of those breaks. But without further ado, it looks like good luck, have fun, have been written in chat. And let the strongest team win this match, because Redacted and Kiwi, as predicted, are gonna show off their Hard Rock specialist skills on this exact map. Kalinjak and Delete, once again, the two perma lobbies, the two titans, are here. Izaris, your Hard Rock tap-in specialist, is also joining. Zerilia, Varial surprisingly, and MK45. Izaris and MK45 are usually only present on those Hard Rock maps exactly. But with that, your generic aim precision map is gonna get started.
Yep, making their way from D team to A team. Redacted coming in, making Grand Finals debut on the Hard Rock 2, as well as Kiwi making an appearance, and MK45 hopping in for the first time in this match. And we're going to start off this Hard Rock 2 very slowly, as the aim is going to get more consistent as we get into those harder KIs more throughout the later section of the map. Izaris and Redacted and MK45, Varial as well, all four of them going to find drops, and it's still 3 FCs from the United States and only 1 from the side of Indonesia, being Zerilia, to no one's surprise. Delete finding a drop, but the accuracy from the United States is doing them so many favors right now.
Rough start for Indonesia, only Zerilia with an FC, but hey, look at Izaris and Varial. They have built up their combos. Now it is very much more doable for them, because that verse just let them get a lot of free combo. But now, as we're entering the first KI, we're already gonna be seeing a break from Redacted. Though your hopes, which at Kalinjak and Kiwi, are still present with full combo, but Kiwi is out now.
And Zerilia is down, and Kalinjak winning the duel of the carries. Delete the one to recover. Varial the only one with the recovery on the side of Indonesia. Redacted not finding their footing on the Hard Rock 2. And we are going into the final third section of the map, the hard part, the KI. We see many breaks coming out from the players on this aim pattern, and Kalinjak still running away with the FC 300k in the favor of the United States. And with Zerilia going down, the United States are going to take the Hard Rock 2 and make this match 5-1. The God has shown their powers and have slayed the Titan on the Hard Rock 2.
Tears of Tragedy is something that the Indonesian players might be dropping right now, as they are 2 maps away from getting eliminated from 6WC2025. Even Zerilia and Varial, they put their biggest efforts into the map, but what can you do against that FC from Kalinjak? 950k almost, Delete with 700, and Kiwi with 500k scores. are completely gapping Indonesia. They did the reverse of what Indonesia did them, of what Indonesia did to them on the previous map, which was hidden one in a very badass manner. And Indonesia now, they need to think very carefully. Good thing though, there is no hard rock maps left. This was the only one because the others got banned by them. But regardless, gonna be.
And to no one's surprise, it's going to be the Hidden 3, the final hidden map that the Indonesians have to pick out here before we go into another ban phase, as they still have that Hidden 2 protect that they can pick later on. And, you know, this is not looking good for Indonesia. 5-1 already. You know, the schedule might be doing a little bit of non-good favors for Indonesia right now, but, you know, as well as the versatility from the United States roster on this high skill cap pool. But going into the Hidden 3.5 minutes long, Dear the Night I Loved, mapped by Nomi Nomu Philoxen. Talk to me, man. What is this map about?
They did. First of all, huge shoutouts to Nomi Nomu, super versatile mapper, and the mapper that has a lot of significance. Probably the most significant 6-digit tournament mapper. They have mapped, for your information, DT2 for Core 6 semifinals, Noma 2 for Core 6 Grand, Noma 3 for 6WC5 round of 16 pool, Noma 3 for 6WC4 Grand Finals, and finally, your 6 IPC Grand Finals tiebreaker mapper. It's all Nomi Nomu, and we are seeing another masterpiece from the mapper. It's Dear the Night I Loved, your swing hidden map, something that we have not seen before in our pools in hidden 3 slots, but here we are. This map basically consists of a lot of fast sliders, which are followed by doubles, and there's a lot of those doubles. Not only in Yorkie eyes, but the verses are also super challenging. This is one of those maps that I felt like it just had that constant difficulty throughout every single pattern. So this is gonna be one hell of a challenge for both teams. Imargating, Varial, Zerillia, and Syntax Error, your core hidden players, are stepping in. They really need that comeback right now because they don't want to lose to United States once again, like that semifinals defeat. And United States, they are the upper hand of this match. Kalanjak, Cuckoo, Sparkle, and Creepcrafting are gonna be fighting for their country with our with the Indonesia.
Yep, Indonesia starting off very strong here. 3 FCs still intact with 3 of them, actually 2 of them dropping. Creepcrafting on the Bancho miss. Kalanjak finding another break, but Cuckoo and Light going to be, or actually Light was the one who found a break. Cuckoo the only one with an FC. Very surprising as they are not much of a hidden player. Creepcrafting finding another break as well earlier. But looking at the side of Indonesia with Cuckoo going down, look at how much leg room Indonesia has here. They still have 3 FCs going up for them, and Syntax Error on that recovery. Syntax Error goes down. L Commentator Curse. Creepcrafting the only one with combo on the side of the United States, as nobody is holding a combo on this Hidden 3. The swing tech Hidden 3, and Indonesia is just running away with this in the third section of the map.
And a crucial break. Indonesia know what they have done. There is a 3-way FC going on against a 0-way FC. All of them hitting that tap-in section, the one and only in that map. After that, I am pretty sure Imargating and Varial with Zerillia are gonna hold through that second verse without any problems, while the United States, even on those verses, are just crumbling apart, except for Creepcrafting, the last ray of light of Team United States.
The final hope for the United States to try and keep this alive, but even then, with no FCs from the US against 3, the score lead is building even higher, up to 360k, going to 400k, but 1 FC is gone, and the recovery is gone from Creepcrafting and Syntax Error. Cuckoo dropping, Kalanjak and Light the only one with combo. But it is still 2 big FCs and only 1 now, with Imargating finding a drop, and the Titan is stomping over the United States right now.
I guess there is a good news for Indonesia and a bad news as well. Zerilya finally managed to prove that he is the man of the day for Indonesia. Finally, fully carrying his team, the only FC looking forward to implementing an absolute god mode on our custom Binomi Nomo as we are getting into our build up to the last KI. We'll see how this goes for them. But the bad thing is that after this, Indonesia will be left with no hidden maps.
You know, they still have something like the free mod 3 they could dive into, but you know, United States would be able to ban that out going into the next ban phase, which I believe should be just after this map, unless the US have another pick. But I think without a doubt, looking at the Titan falling to their knees, the score lead is going over to the United States rapidly, though, with these big recoveries from Light and Kalinjak and Creep Crafting. If any more breaks come from Indonesia, it's going to keep going over to the United States in the final section, but Creep Crafting goes down, and I think the Indonesians have taken the hidden 3 by a thread. It was so close, the United States not having enough time, finding a few breaks at the end. Kalinjak with the almost 1000 combo 450k, almost bringing it back over to the side of the USA, but Indonesia going to put another point on the board on the hidden 3.
Even on their strongest skill set, the United States showing them by any way that Kalinjak is not gonna take it easy on them. He almost brought that comeback that Zerilya was not even seeing. Yeah, 130k score difference, super close at the end. If there was like 30 more seconds into the map, that would have been enough and we would have seen a match point. But Indonesia got saved once again. But still, just look at the match score, it's 5-2. And the worst part is United States, they now have to determine the next map, and this is super bad for Indonesia. After all, playing at 1 AM is not something you would want. I'm pretty sure because of that disadvantage, some of the Indonesians, I'm pretty sure Imer Gading even said that he is feeling really sleepy, and United States definitely did some crazy negotiations with scheduling, because right now look at what they are doing.
And I think the United States' best course of action is to go with that Nomad to continue with the tapping dominance that we have been seeing throughout the match on those maps, and then save that DT2 for later. But they are going to eat up my words and go straight into DT1 Eurobit, mapped by Suck My Anime XD. Pholoxin, talk to me about this DT1.
No. Right, this DT1, unfortunately, it's not a custom. It is a Russian song. The composer is Lida. It is Eurobit. Your 230 BPM farm jumps, a lot of them looking like your star pattern jumps. So just your typical farm DT map, which we have on our DT1 slot. The difficulty is spread evenly throughout the entire map. And the elephant in the room about this map is that the AR is almost 10.2, and this is what I believe is gonna make it hardest to just achieve an FC on. Regarding the lineups though, Indonesia, I'm pretty sure they have something to show. In their previous finals match, they got a two-way FC on that DT1. With Akariemu even FC in the map, so I'm expecting Akariemu to step in the lobby. Same for Variel and Zerilya, obviously. And I would say, to top it all off, you would have Imer Gading. He was present on the last DT1 as well, so this is my expected squad for Indonesia. But for United States, Maiji, do you think we will see some new names?
I think we're going to be seeing Redacted coming back from the Hard Rock 2 going into this DT1, as they are the double time player for the United States, that higher skill cap aim, as well as someone like Cuckoo and Delete. There they are, Redacted. And also to top off the mention of the DT1 that you mentioned, against Russia, as well against Canada. Emar Gating and Zerilia got a double FC against Canada. Emar Gating getting the highest score in that lobby, so they are no strangers to that higher AR, which is surprising because of how much they struggle on Hard Rock. But this DT1 going to be your farm aim jumps, as you mentioned. And for the rosters, we see Creep Crafting, Redacted, Cuckoo, and Delete in for this DT1. And for Indonesia, we have OK Ryamu, Zerilia, Varial, and Emar Gating. And with the final pick before we go into the final ban phase, welcome to Eurobit.
Skill set wise, this map is pretty similar to last round's DT1, so if Indonesia wants to start a comeback, this is the perfect opportunity for them, as they of course have solid chances of FC in that map based on their previous DT1 performance. But without further ado, Zerilia, will you be able to surprise us once again?
You know, one thing I'm very scared of here, Creep Crafting going down, it's going to be that accuracy lead from Indonesia. We've seen just how strong they've been on accuracy in the past DT1s, Cuckoo going down, but the accuracy lead is going to be Delete against Zerilia, and everybody else sitting around the 92 range except for Creep Crafting up in the 97, being the other elephant in the room. Varial finding another miss, and the score lead shifts over to USA with 2 FCs coming from Redacted and Delete. Zerilia, OK Ryamu, and Emar Gating with a triple FC, though unfortunately it's accuracy. OK Ryamu finding a drop. It's only 2 FCs from Zerilia and Emar Gating, and the score lead keeps pushing over to the side of the United States.
Indonesia started off really strong, but the first Ki made them lose their 3 full combos, with Zerilia being the only one countering the lead. But what would you do against Creep Crafting and Cuckoo? There is no one to counter them. Redacted is recovering, and with that 240k score difference, the difference is gonna be skyrocketing to United States. Zerilia, the thunderstorm of breaks is happening on the side of Indonesia. He is holding, he is trying his best once again, but the miracle is not gonna happen unless they see a lot of breaks. The first one needed to be from Delete, followed by Cuckoo.
The generation of miracles, Delete, Cuckoo, Redacted, and Creep Crafting on this DT1, going to bring the United States on to match point 6-2 against Indonesia. Delete finding a break at the end. Zerilia goes down once again, but by 400k, Zerilia cannot 1v4. United States are on match point against Indonesia. Oh man, this is not looking good for the Indonesians right now. We're going into another ban phase, so they have a little bit of time to breathe, a little bit of time to relieve the nerves, but there's not much that is going to be going for them after this ban phase. You know, United States are going to be able to ban one of those free mod maps. Indonesia still have their hidden 2 protect that they can go for here, but the United States still have that DT2.
I don't think this is something Indonesia expected to perform like that, because, well, just obviously look at the previous match links. They were getting much higher scores. I don't think that the difference between finals and grand finals pool difficulty is that big. I think there is just some underperformance due to nerves and due to the fact that United States are once again one step away from beating Indonesia down, with the only exception is that Indonesia now, they don't have a right to fail because they're already in the loser's bracket, so it's gonna be really tough for them for the rest of the match.
And this time around, the United States are in the upper hand. Instead of Indonesia being up 5-3, the United States are up 6-2. And the Nomad 4 ban coming from the United States, which honestly, I love to see that ban just because of how well we've seen Syntact Error do on that Nomad 4 yesterday in the Captain's Battle Royale, as well as other players like Emar and Zerilia who could perform on it. The United States getting rid of the Nomad 4 is honestly a really good ban. And now with the final ban of the match, Indonesia is going to be the ones to decide what and leaves the pool and will leave us remaining with the final 4 maps of the pool. And Nomad 2 is the map to go. I am not surprised, as they lost a lot on the tapping during the match, and leaving the final ban phase comes a pick from Indonesia, and I think the perfect pick to go here is with the hidden 2 protect that you have.
Yeah, Hidden 2 is gonna be your last bastion. Noma 2 ban is very reasonable for them, as this is the map and the skill set that Indonesia lost to Canada. And when it comes to skill sets of Canada and United States is definitely stronger on tapping than Canada. Therefore, your Noma 2 ban, your custom is not gonna be represented in this match, but as Maiji predicted, Hidden 2 map is getting picked. The last hope for Indonesia. It is a do or die right now.
Yep, and coming to no one's surprise comes the Hidden 2, this deadly Hidden 2, AR 7.5. It's not going to be good for anyone. It's going to be really hard on the reading. A short one as well, 1 minute and 40 seconds long. And like the notes say, ahoy reading. There is so many reading patterns in this map. And for the United States, we're going to be seeing these reading players like Creep Crafting, like Light, and I believe Delete and Kalenjak would be the other ones to fill in on this Hidden 2. But as for Indonesia, we have Viril and Zerillia, the duo on the Hidden 2. They have a duo of their own, and they also have people like OK Ryamu and Imar Gating, who have a lot of reading capabilities.
Last time, Indonesia and United States, they played Hidden 2. And Indonesia, even though United States had 1 FC, Indonesia still managed to secure almost a double FC, definitely proven that they are the strongest AR8 hidden team in the tournament. Their reading is on point, it is spot on, and it is unmatched. But now we have different conditions. Indonesia must be pretty much nervous at this moment. They are 1 step away from getting eliminated from 6WC. They are sending in their best man. Your Hidden 2 lineup, the classical one, Zerillia, Varial, Imargaden, and Syntax Error are your last hopes for this match. Because during this tendency where United States, they have been getting those breakpoints here and there. I will not be surprised if even on the Protect of Indonesia, they will be able to pull off something crazy. I will just lose my mind if this happens, but there is a possibility for that. Therefore, Indonesia cannot be chill even on their own Protect.
This is the final ray of hope that Indonesia have, the final map that they have to put on the table, this Hidden 2 Protect. And we're starting off. It's instantly going to start on the reading. We see Zerillia getting taken out by the crossfire, Imar Gating going down as well, and 3 breaks coming from the United States. Creep Crafting, the reading specialist of the United States, the only one to hold against Viril.
This is the overlap heaven, which is starting right now. One of the hardest reading parts of the map is represented right here, seeing a lot of breaks, Creep Crafting, finding the first of them, Imargaden and Delete, finding more. The map itself is very much not only overlapping, but rhythmic heavy, and if you don't listen to the flow of the map, you will see those breaks, and just 4-way break. From the lobby, Kalenjak once again finding one. There is no FCs yet in the United States, just because of the accuracy and the Como Gaming on Sparkle are having the upper hand. This is terrible for Indonesia right now, Maiji.
Halfway through the map on the Hidden 2 Protect from Indonesia, it's not looking like we're going to be seeing the Protect from the United States, the DT2, with Sparkle and Creep Crafting finding these big recovery combos on this Hidden 2, showing just how dominant they are on the reading, and the United States are dislaying the Titan Zerillia. They are showing that Titans can be slain, and the winners of the Grand Finals losers bracket match to battle against the Philippines final boss is going to be the United States of America.
Perfect world that Indonesia tried to build just completely shattered. No matter how stable Zerillia is, no matter how many god modes we saw from Varial, there is no hope for Team Indonesia. And this all happened because of Sparkle on Hidden 2 single-handedly destroyed their dreams. He is the Titan of the US. He is the unstoppable right now. And now he's showing us a masterclass. United States own the finish line, repeating the semifinals miracle once and for all, securing top 2 spot in the championship.
And the United States defeating the 6WC1 champions, the 6WC3 champions proved to be stronger in 6WC5 compared to Indonesia. I don't know why Canada always pops up to be the winners, but with the match coming to an end brings a post-match interview with the captains of each team. I got the AOK from Syntax Error. I'm waiting for the AOK from the Captain Light, but for now, let's get into a intermission. Give me and Philoxen a little bit of time to breathe after we have that honestly less action-packed match that we thought. It was a little bit less closer than we thought, maybe because of the schedule, but for now, we'll see you guys very shortly.
Just a few quick announcements. Happy birthday to Timmy here with his parents on his 10th birthday. Congratulations, Timmy. Hope you have a fantastic day. Don't forget it is Tuesday, so it's Taco Tuesdays. Half price off all tacos. Tuck in. But yeah, here's a new song we've written. Really hope you enjoy it.
All right, welcome back, everyone. After we seen the United States take down the Indonesian 7-2, brings you the post-match interview with each team's captains, hosted by me and Philoxen, and joined in the commentary booth comes Light and Syntax Error. How are you guys both feeling about that match?
Tired, but relieved that it's over. I'm happy with our performance. I think we all popped off really well, so can't complain.
And what about you, Syntax?
No.
I'm losing my mind, but yes. Yes.
Yes.
You know, with one team being crowned, one must have to go home, and you guys were the team on the back end to go home. You know, what were you guys' thoughts after that first pick? I'm sure you guys went into that DT4 thinking, oh, we can win this. This should be pretty free, as the United States struggled a lot on the gimmick. But unfortunately, you know, they got that breakpoint, and that's what kickstarted the lead for the United States. How are you guys thinking? How are you guys feeling? My bad.
So that question was targeted towards the DT4, yes?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So not gonna lie, when we were choosing on DT4, that was actually kind of a throwaway pick because we're also kind of not that good in DT4. So we were just like, okay, maybe we just use this DT4 to just get it out of the way first, and then we can choose something that we can that we can excel on later on. But I guess that kind of snowballed into something else, and well, lo and behold,
Right. And Light, how were you guys feeling after that DT4? Did you guys get a big boost of motivation?
Yeah, we were surprised of that DT4 pick. I guess there wasn't that much like we didn't play a DT4 last round, so there wasn't information on it. But like
Mhm.
going into this match, we were actually looking to pick DT4 at some point in the match. So them picking it
Wow.
first was
Oh.
it
I
actually
think the
kind of
best
it
thing.
surprised us a lot. So it was a bit as a first pick too. Like wow, but yeah, we got through that.
Yeah, I think the thing that maybe stirred them to go with that route was maybe the Nomad 6, as you know they did do much better than you guys on that Nomad 6. But that Nomad 6 is a different breed of map. But to continue on with the questions, Syntact Error, you guys did play a little bit late. How are you guys feeling about the schedule? I know the schedule was not the easiest thing to go through as you guys are across the globe. Talk to us a little bit about the scheduling.
okay, not gonna lie. Speaking truthfully, the schedule when I was when me and Light was discussing about the schedule, there were a few days where I was crashing out. I'm gonna be honest about that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Light, if it ever offended you
Okay,
at one point or
no, no, you're good, bro.
another. But yeah, it was not good. First off, because there was a lot of us at that time in like the morning schedules that Light initially offered us that are not gonna be at home at all. And me specifically on Sunday, I was also not home at all because I was also doing other stuff as well in real life. So scheduling was very hard to get by. How I don't really recall how we ended up agreeing on 1645 UTC, but it ended up being working out. But to an extent that there is a drawback that three of my teammates ended up being really sleepy at that time, which is oh boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, before we continue with more questions related to the match for Light, Syntact Error, what are your thoughts, of the United States going up against the Philippines? Not going to be you guys going against the Philippines, going to be the United States of America instead. What are your thoughts of this matchup?
United States team, not gonna lie, when after today's match, they're super strong. I'm I like you guys are very strong. But then Philippine teams is also strong as well. I don't know which one to pick. Maybe slight bias towards Philippines because I don't even know how to word it. To be honest, it's just like instinctively. But not gonna lie, US might actually surprise me. Might surprise everyone actually. I think you guys could do this if you lock in.
Yep.
Thank you.
And Light said it last week at the end of the interview closing off the finals that they will be back better than ever going into the finals or the grand finals, and they have shown just how strong they can be. Before we continue with questions towards Light Philoxen, is there anything you want to ask these two guys?
Yeah. My question goes to Syntact. Is first of all, Syntact, you are the oldest Indonesian six-digit tournament player. You won 6WC1. How were you feeling playing with some new with some new blooded players of Team Indonesia, like Zerelia, Varial, and all of those demons? How was the mood?
Dude,
And what did you
not
expect?
gonna lie. I actually feel like an old hag inside the VC. When I'm playing, I feel like I have a constant walking stick next to me, bro. I feel so old. I
are
feel
are
so
you
old, but
not?
at the same uh, okay, come on, man, not like this, bro. Not like this, but okay, genuinely speaking, like these guys, right? My players, my teammates, my broskies, my
Okay.
homies down there on
Yep.
ID.
Based.
My god, those guys are demons. Those guys are absolute like insane. But not gonna lie, I have to give credit where credit is due to not only my teammates, but also
Oh.
like what towards the staff inside my Indonesian team as well. For like sometimes coordinating my head because sometimes I can't really think straightforward. And honestly, I'll give a pat on my back for myself for once, because damn, I never expected to reach this far, to be honest. Well, of course, I wanted to reach number one, but I guess old bones are old.
Okay, man. Well said. I guess one last question is: what outcome were you expecting from the match?
We were winning. We want to win.
No.
I mean, if you ask me the outcome, of course I'm gonna say we want to win. We expect it to be 7-0 or like full flush.
Oh shit.
Like damn, I wanted that, but I guess the dice rolls weren't on our favor.
You
That's
guys
Who rigged it?
depressing.
Who rigged it?
Who rigged it?
Must
You
be you,
guys,
Philipsen.
you guys definitely wanted that royal flush, but with the questions with syntax being over Philox, anything you want to ask Light?
Now, Maiji, I think I will give you the honors of doing such mission.
All right, Light. Let's go on with questions towards you guys in the United States. What honestly, me and Philoxen were a little bit surprised as to what was the mindset banning the Nomad 3 going into that first ban phase. Me and Philoxen were really thinking you guys were going to get rid of something like the Hidden 1 or Hidden 3, or was the Hidden Pool just something you guys were worth tossing away?
Yeah, the main difference is that we had a lot better scores on the hiddens. We had more carry potential, if you like. The nomads were just like, well, especially nomad 3. Nomad 4 is like late ban. It's like that's the last thing that was left for them. But nomad 3, like that map is demon. Like we I don't think we had like a single good score on that, but we're gonna change that for next week. So don't think that's like free scouting Philippines.
Yeah, honestly, that's what I thought was going through your guys' head. Something that Zerillia could probably pop off on. Just getting rid of something like that would be beneficial
Yeah.
for you guys going through the match.
And the players they had to like, they have amazing like nomad players like for the tech and alt. So yeah, it was like probably their best like skill set left at that point in the match, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and with the Indonesians falling on their protect, you guys overcoming the Adem on the hidden 2 protect, how are you guys feeling when you won? Now you guys are guaranteed second place. You have that potential first place going up against the Philippines. What was the mindset like?
At the end of the match?
Yeah, when you guys
Or
won.
okay. Okay, we were we were really surprised that we won that hidden 2 actually. We were and it for like that amount of like win margin too. I didn't see the scores until obviously the end point. I knew that I had a good score. I didn't know if Creep also matched me, but it turns out both of us did really well on it, and we did like we replicated our practice scores, which honestly I wasn't expecting to do, but it turned out that way, and yeah, we were just elated at the end. We were surprised but elated to win like in such a manner at the very end. Yeah, it was great.
Yep, and both of you guys getting around 500, 600k on that hidden 2. Crazy scores, by the way, on that deadly reading map. And following up with a 7-2 comes another match, which will probably happen next week for the people wondering in chat. What are you guys planning? What is the thought going into that match next week?
Well, we're gonna keep practicing the pool, patch up the weaker maps, of course. We're definitely gonna play a lot more and try to push skill cap, so we're ready for all the mechanics again, and just be better on all fronts. And hopefully that'll be enough to win the whole thing.
Yep, and with you winning the minor league last year, you potentially have the crown coming towards the United States for the major league this year. But with this interview coming to an end, is there anything you want to say to Syntax Error or just Indonesia as a whole, and anything you want to say to the Philippines going into next week's match?
Well, GG Syntact. Your team was still very scary. Even throughout the whole match, we had to be very careful with what we picked. And honestly, aside from Philippines, you're the only team that we had to think so like profoundly for. So, GG's, you guys did well. And congrats
Damn, bro,
on
you
third
don't need to
place.
throw shade, man.
I'm just being honest.
No, okay, that's fair. But oh my god,
Yeah.
dude, absolute GGs to your team as well, though. Holy shit, you guys are so fucking scary. Like, what the heck? It's so scary. Like, my brain, I had to rack up like things and like think of a dads just to think around. Okay, is this actually worth it or not? And yeah, and I have one question for you though. Like, how dare
Mhm.
you ban an M4? Why?
I was actually thinking about you and Emar when I was banning. I was like, I think those two are gonna do good on that map. I think we should
You
ban
fool! I was ready for that. You know, damn it.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That's a good
Fine.
map too. I'm sorry.
I'll forgive you. I'll forgive you. I'll forgive you. GG's, bro. GG's. You guys are great.
GG's.
All right, all right. Maiji, I believe was that we will have to round up the interview as we have finally run out of our timer. So, Maiji, you do that.
Well, with 1 week of the grand finals being down, we are down to the final two. The Philippines and the United States are the two final big beasts to live in the six-digit World Cup 2025. The United States going to have to win once and win a bracket reset if they want to potentially take the crown away from the Filipinos. But with that, thank you everyone for watching. We're going to be closing out the losers bracket grand finals with a bang. United States defeating Indonesia 7-2, and we'll be back with you guys next week for the final match that is to come, and also potentially a hint staff show match that Gemi can hopefully talk about more in the announcements. But it was me, Maiji, joined by Philoxen, and these two lovely captains of the Titan teams, Light and Syntact Error. Thank you everyone for watching. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Have a nice day.
Bye bye.